the HR intervention.
I'll take that. I know you.
HR manager. Dang, dang, dang.
Yay!
I'm Sherin from Compass Mind.
And I'm James Sassi, Senior Manager of Learning and Development. Welcome to episode 3 of HR Intervention. I'm here with Sherin. Over ever winner, episode 3, Consumer Appeals Advisor, Santi Muniani.
Hashtag newbie. We would like to know who's new on the show. Yay, you're Azmi. Huh? You look like Baju Raya, I look like the green screen.
You look at Harry Potter's.
Psychology, are you all the psychology stuff you're probably going to
Edward, welcome. Hello everybody. Hello everyone. Wish all of you Selamat Hari Raya. Oh my god, I'm sure you had a good Raya.
Hi everybody, I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the energy.
Welcome, Shariza, to our HR.
This is very interesting.
So you better keep smiling.
Sherin. I'm part of the winner zone.
Hey, welcome to another episode of CMA HRTV. So how's everybody doing?
I'm yet in another new place, as you can see in the background.
Yeah, you seem to be also echoing.
Am I? Really?
No, not bad at all. You sound
Okay.
great. You always sound great. So guys,
I see.
how was your long weekend? Did you take the day off on Monday so that it makes a long weekend? Hi, Siti, Rosiana. Hi, Cheryl.
You mean there
Hi,
was a long weekend? When? How? Who? Why?
Saturday, Sunday, Monday we took leave, and Tuesday. Then it makes a long weekend because that was for me.
Yeah, but there's no leave for people who work as hard as I do.
Oh, and I work very softly, I say.
Mhm.
Is that what you say? So where did you guys go? Share with us. We actually took it as a long leave. I know a lot of our office friends have. They took leave. They balik kampung. I, on the other hand, balik kampung orang lain. Went to other people's kampung, which was Langkawi. Wow, I can tell you, the crowd at the airport was zero. Leaving
Really?
Callay,
I thought it would be like so crowded now that everyone is out. I am balik
Callay,
kampung myself. I'm in my
Callay
parents'
was
house.
empty. You can walk
Wow.
anywhere around. It was totally okay. But then when you land in Langkawi, airport was crowded. But once you get out of Langkawi and you go to the beach area and the party area, it was as though there was no such thing as COVID. People were without masks, and I was having a culture shock. It's like no mask.
Seriously?
Yes, I was scared, I tell you. So I stood at the beach area because I'm a little bit paranoid about it. I want to have fun, but still I want to have safe fun. But you know what? Guess who I met in Langkawi?
I know. Me. Oh, no.
No, it was Ning Baizura. And you had to go and spoil it for me and say I didn't follow SOP.
Well, oh.
When a celebrity hugs you can't go and say shoo, right?
Yeah, you just say, hello, I'm a celebrity. Don't hug me. No.
Actually, I
But
should
that's
say,
your weekend.
I'm Sherin Callay, you know.
I balik kampung to my parents' house in Taipei. And boy, the roads were packed. And you know what? The worst is this. There was one point when I was coming down from Ipoh, right? Right. It's like a hill, and this big truck with it's a car. It carries cars, so I don't know what you call it. It just sped sped 80 miles per hour, and I had to literally step or literally brake and go right to the left, and it went zoom down the hill.
So
This
dangerous.
huge truck with all these cars. I'm like, these
Did you
guys
take the phone
like
number? What cars were there? Were those that the truck was carrying?
I have. Do you think I got time to actually look at the car? I was like worried for my life. I was like, get out of the way.
I
So
usually
that's
go
how
to
people
work
are
with the
driving
number
now.
at the number plate. That's crazy.
It's like all of us haven't driven out on the road, so now we're like, let's go and drive. So hello everyone. It's so good to see so many of you guys. Dr. Chandiran, Veerasamy, hi, Cheryl, Vita, Ray or Roy, City.
Roy. Hi,
Roy.
Roy.
Hi.
So
So
Siti Rosiana was working on Monday.
it was such a different weekend compared to others. I can see people are so much happier. It's like what you said, it's like no COVID. What's COVID? There's they're like crabs coming out on the surface after a tsunami, and this is not my word. Okay, crabs walk sideways. So yeah, I'm back in my parents' hometown. Anyway, if you've missed some of our previous episodes, they are available on Sherin's YouTube channel. As seen on her ticker below, not her ticker as in the heart ticker, tick, 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 tick. So if you want to watch our previous episodes, head over there well after this show. Basically, this show is for everyone who has a job, whether you're a freelancer, business owner, or especially if you're in HR, this show is for you.
Yeah, and James, you seem to be tickling everybody. Is it raining outside? Oh, it's raining. Oh, okay.
It
Sorry,
rains
I
every
was
day
trying.
in Taipei, so it's the wettest town in Malaysia.
Oh, I heard it's been raining here too, although I was not been around. But you seem to be tickling everyone with your little crabby moves. So, for your information, this show is not a crabby show, but this show is brought to you by Compass Mind Asia. We're actually a corporate training consultant, and we help organizations grow exponentially through our award-winning and proven corporate training programs. So, guys, if you're looking to upskill your employees or even enhance their team engagement, get closer together, especially due to the COVID that kept everyone away,
Not like
just
you and
email
Indira. Closer.
closer.
Yeah.
Then just email us as per what our back end has put on the ticker below, training@compassmind.com. So anyways, if this is your first time watching us, please let us know by commenting #newbie so we know you're new in on the show. And if you are our loyal audience, type out HRTV,
RTV.
HRTV. And let us know where you're from, guys, because we have had people from all over Malaysia and also from several parts of the world. Actually, to recap, James, where have we had people from? We had from US,
Bangladesh, Dubai,
Myanmar,
Pakistan, India,
Myanmar, Cambodia,
Myanmar,
Singapore,
United States of America.
America. We had Americans come in. Australia, not yet, right?
Yeah, that's why we were saying we will go there and do a show. The Bondi Beach. Oi, oi, oi.
Bondi Beach. Oh my God, the world will be tuning in.
I know, right?
So anyway, before we dive into the show, let's bring back to the show and not a holiday, since we are all on La La Land since things opened up. So before we dive into the topic today, let me introduce myself. I am Sherin, Callay, the Managing Director of Compass Mind Asia, and together with me is
the long suffering. Okay, and I am James Sassi, senior manager for learning and development, and this is HR intervention episode 17. 17. We have some newbies in our midst, Sherin.
Yay! We have Roy, we have
Roy
Luciana,
and City Rosiana. Welcome.
and I'm sure both of you are tuned in from Malaysia, right?
Yes,
I
where are
guess
you
so.
guys tuning in from?
And James, episode 17 already, so fast, huh?
Can you imagine? I feel so young still.
Oh, you
But I can see
turned
some green on that.
5 series, remember?
I know. Not all
But
of this hand.
you did look younger 13 years ago when we met with your little
I know.
baby.
Did you see the picture that I posted?
I saw. I was looking for this on our last episode and I couldn't find it. I told Nina, can you please look through my Facebook and find something that picture of James with me with the baby.
Yeah,
And
with my
she couldn't.
daughter there. She's just there.
Is she here?
No, in the picture.
Okay. I want
I'm
to
sure we're celebrating her 13th year birthday this year on the 22nd November. Yeah. So, how are all of you guys doing? Have you guys had your lunches? What are you guys having today? I had nasi kerabu typing. Nasi kerabu is only Kelantan, right? But this was nasi kerabu typing. But then again, okay lah.
Boleh
Just so that you guys know, this is an interactive show. So please do leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below, so that we can answer it.
Okay, we shall. And Roy, yes, from Malaysia. Actually, he's probably just next to me somewhere here.
Mhm. Do you owe him something? Roy, does she owe you any money? She bought something and you didn't pay.
Along. No, I owe him a teh tarik. Yes, Roy, we are due for a teh tarik. So anyway, if you guys read my LinkedIn today, my LinkedIn post today, then you guys might know that I shared a little bit about my personal experience in career shift, although I didn't do much career shift. But basically, I studied HR, human resources. But now, oh my, Roy, yes, you're being scary. I'm watching you. Oh, she's going to owe me money soon. Okay, can, Roy, no problem. So I switched from studying in HR into now sales, something that I never knew I could do. But you know what? It's someone who believed in me that allowed me to do it, to do sales. Sales is all about when someone trusts you, believes in you, sees that spark in you, you can do it. So to being an entrepreneur today in the training industry, but yeah, HR and training is a little, it's very much alike. So I won't say a big career shift, but I know for those who actually undergo a massive career shift, a big shift, not like mine, a small one, I know it's not easy, but I got to say, for many I've seen, it's rather worth it actually to shift career.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people easily shift career from being in the corporate to being an entrepreneur. I guess a lot of people are moving towards the gig economy, right?
Yeah, especially when COVID happened, right? Suddenly you found people who were flying planes were delivering food.
Opening restaurant. Yeah, that's a big shift. Yeah, the captain opened a restaurant in Subang. So
And,
everything is possible.
And those who have always thought that this is their life and career, this is where they're gonna start and end, suddenly find themselves, oops, I don't have a job. downsizing. Remember, one of our episodes was downsizing.
Resizing.
So resizing, downsizing, resizing, upsizing.
All the same sizing. So anyway, but what about the other way around? Have you thought about that, James? People go from corporate to entrepreneurs, but they can also have a career shift in their own organization. Like changing departments with a totally different job description. That's also a career shift anyway, right?
Come to think of it, I've had so many different jobs, right? But they've
Yes.
all been in the same area: learning and development, organizational development, talent development, everything that has to do with HR. So
Yeah.
it's not so much of like a pandemic career change. Like I was a doctor, now I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
God help those who are, yeah. So, okay, Sherin, I know we have so many questions in mind, as much as all of our guests today. So let's just bring in our guests, shall we?
We sure we can. Why not? Because we've got a
So,
wonderful.
if you guys want a close up experience from someone who has had career shift basically her whole life, from corporate in banking and then F&B to academia in private public universities for 16 years, and then back to corporate in the government sector. And she said she's not planning to stop there. Distinguished guests, please welcome Director, Strategy and Engagement of Yayasan Penarju, Dr.
Dr.
Amina
Amina
Joseta
Juseka
Kayani. I just
Kaiwani.
came from hosting a town hall, you see, so I'm like in my empty mode. I was
Hi,
just telling
Dr.
Dr.
Amina.
I was just telling Dr. Amina, thank God this is not a cooking show, because I looked at the LinkedIn and I saw that post that she did about the fire in the house. I was like, thank God it's not a cooking show. Otherwise, both of us would be running out of the studio.
I know, right? I mean, like you always see how it happens to others, but when it actually happens to you, it can be quite traumatizing. Yeah, and believe it or not, your introduction was so attractive and interesting that my cat has just decided to jump onto the table here with me. So don't be surprised if he decides to actually show.
Okay, we've had children jumping on the show, so
Yeah.
cats will make a difference. So anyway, welcome to HRTV. How are you
Thank you.
doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me, Sherin and James. I'm truly honored, and I have to say, after 2 years of working mostly virtually and having several speaking engagements, this is I would say one of the jazziest or unconventional speaking engagements that I've been invited to so far. Yeah, so and I'm on episode 17. Wow. I have missed 16 episodes, and now I'm very interested to see,
Yeah,
what was
forget about the
all about.
Annyeong Sayo Korean drama and watch all our episodes from episode 1 right up to episode
1 to 17.
Yeah. Anyway, we've only shared the surface of who you are, basically those in relation to career shifts. So tell us everything else about yourself and everything. I mean, everything.
I don't want to bore you, and I'm not sure how far am I an expert with this. So I'd like to actually just have a little bit of a disclaimer to Sharon's LinkedIn post there. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert career shifter, but I'm here to share my experiences with you. And all of you who are tuned into this program or watching it after, perhaps the little sharing that I have here today can help you, maneuver your career shifts, or whether it's big career shifts or small. So hopefully that I have something to share. And then a little bit about me, right, James? Well, I'll just keep it short and simple. I started off my career after a degree in accounting and finance, which I graduated in 1995. And coming back to your statement that you have not gone to Australia, right? Sharon,
Yes.
you were saying that you don't have the experience with Australian speakers. I'm not Australian, but I have a lot of Australian experience because both my bachelor degree and my doctorate were from there. And so um, I have to say that, yeah, my career has actually taken a lot of turns, interesting turns throughout the whole journey till where I am right now. And that's something which I can never do what Sharon's doing right now, multitasking.
Yes.
End up
You got me there.
the wrong message to someone else.
You haven't seen the babies that she has to milk as well. I mean, feed, not milk.
Oh dear. Okay, we'll get to that later. Yeah. Anyway, so my degree was in accounting and finance, and that was in '95. So I started my first job in Arab Malaysian Corporation. So yeah, banking sector. I was in internal audit. At that point in time, that was the time where almost everybody wanted to do accounting or finance and get into the chartered accounting line. So I was one of those. And so I worked with Arab Malaysian for a bit, and then I decided to get into unit trust. So I actually had a side hustle even back then. And I took up unit trust consulting license only to discover that I was no salesperson because I found that every single person that I approached tended to avoid me. So I ended up only selling one to my uncle, and I gave up. It's like not for me. So, that's just a lesson learned that, not everything is for everyone. You have to just discover what you're good at and what you can do. And then after that, I did not get into F&B, so I don't know where that piece of information came from. However, it would be on my wish list because I would so much love to have a cafe or something like that. So, okay, Sherry.
You see, someone ready.
Oh, maybe it was just
Yeah.
a joke. They saw that posting on the cooking and the fire.
Oh, okay. No, it's just one of those incidences or accidences that happened
Oh,
because.
F&B can stand for fire dan bakar.
Whoa. Okay. All right. So then after that, I actually did a master's as I had my MBA, and then I decided to go into academia. So that was the big major shift to move after 6 years into academia. So within the academic line, also actually a lot of people who are not in academia don't know this. There is a lot of different options for you to actually explore and experience in academia itself. So you can actually be in learning and development. So basically teaching and learning, or you can actually go into research per se. And go up on all those publications, going on the index journals and all that, or really ramp up your initiatives and efforts in getting grants and going into good research, or going into consultancy, which is what I found interesting lah for me. So I spent a lot of time really exploring research, but more from an applied perspective because that was different. So I'll get into that later as we speak about career shifting. So after that, I was with a private university in Malaysia and then a public university. And then I actually spent 5 years in Australia doing my doctorate, where I worked for all 5 years part-time as a sessional academic. That's what they call it at Curtin University. So Melbourne, I was there for my bachelor, and then I was in Curtin University, Perth, for my doctorate. And my master's was from Ohio University. It was an exchange, sort of like an exchange program where it was conducted here in Malaysia. Okay, and then after academia, in 2018, I decided to leave. And I explored a little bit of training in the public service, before which I joined a tech company, and one of the, I would say, biggest but smallest in size, a very, very strong brand name, which is Touch and Go. So I was heading learning and development there, and they called it people development and culture. It's all about shifting, and that was the time when COVID first happened also. So I left Touch and Go to join Yayasan Peneraju only earlier this year. So pretty much that sums up my career journey, like on the outset. And there's lots of experiences to share throughout. Yeah. In terms of discipline, maybe I missed out on that. The first degree was in accounting and finance, right? And then I did a master's of business administration. Then my doctorate was in HR, which was in performance management. So, to a certain extent, there was a lot of shift there as well. And I would say I like to brand myself differently, that I am a HR practitioner and a talent builder with a difference, because I do also celebrate a lot of P&L and financial literacy there. And that's something which I don't see a lot of professionals having. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
That's a very wise
Hope I didn't bore you.
No, you didn't. In fact, one of your students messaged me this morning.
Ah,
Oh, Dr. Amina was one of my lecturers. I say, wow, what a small world.
yeah.
I would just like to give a shout out to Yandaro Al Amin and Kosa. Where are you guys from? Tell us where you guys tuning in from. Elena Haslan, how are you?
Malaysia. Malaysians. Maybe Yandaro will put his from Phuket lah. Hi, Yandaro.
Oh, I
Holiday.
wish I was
Yeah.
there.
Hello, everyone. I miss you guys. Haven't been catching up with a lot of people for a very long time. It feels like it's very long, even though it's just like a couple of months. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
It
feels
does
a lot.
feel very long because we just stuck at home. So time for Ali Mutu Ahok's teh tarik session.
Yes,
Isn't
yes.
it?
But
Well,
actually, we've got into the topic, Sherin. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay, let me explain to you guys. I don't know whether you guys know this, but wah, budak ampang berpa. But you know, it's estimated that most people have 12 jobs during their lifetime. James, how many so far? Dr. Amina, how many so far? Okay, you need my
I
fingers
lost
also,
count.
James.
I lost count. I know my very first job was with McDonald's. That's right out of from McDonald's. And way back then, it was a glamour job in Komta in Penang. That's my hometown. I grew up in Penang. So working for McDonald's was like, working for McDonald's, ayo, so good.
Sound like all the aunties
But I
say
learned
like that,
a lot. I learned a lot until now. I still practice it even when I'm cooking. It's this thing called CAYG, clean as you go. So whenever I cook, there is absolutely nothing to clean after I've cooked.
Okay,
Yeah.
James, we're getting
So,
scolded
yeah.
at the back end already, James. Keep on track, she
Oh my
says.
God,
Okay,
no.
oh, well, more info. I'm going to rush. Last year, quiet, shoot. Last year, 32% of the those 25 to 44 have considered career change. Like you said just now, James, during the pandemic, a lot of people actually moved,
Yeah.
right? Since starting their first job after college, about 29% of people have completely changed their fields. And this same survey actually went to say that people who major in a specific course in their studies, right, actually do not utilize it at their work. You know what they studied, they don't really utilize it at their work. And 21% use all of their education, only 21%. 53% uses half of their education, and 15% use none at all. Whatever they learn.
I belong to that.
You got lost there. But you know what? Since we all are parents, so now we know why the kids sometimes ask, why do I need to study this certain subject in school? I get it a lot from my son for admits. Mommy, why do I need admits? Where am I going to use it in my life? I see daddy's an engineer, but he doesn't use admits. So it's like, okay. So the pandemic has
Let me show you in the bank account. The money didn't get there by itself, you know.
I know, man.
So before we go further into the topic, what you know, it's like, are you done, Sherin? Am I cutting you? No.
No,
right?
no.
So what is a
Let's
career
get
shift?
to the questions. What's the what?
What do you consider as a career shift,
Mm.
Dr. Mina?
Okay, career shift is like to me, it's like if a career is a pathway, right, or a road, a shift would be taking a turn on a different road or something. Well, it might be something similar, a road which is parallel or similar, or going in the opposite direction also altogether. um, and career shift would be like going back to that analogy, it's like when you have gone through that road and you have learned about the twists and turns and it's given you the experiences, it will guide
Yeah.
you to actually go through different roads in a better way, even though it might not be the same, but the experiences has empowered you somewhat. So with changing jobs, right, a lot of people argue whether it's really a career shift. I would say it's not. It's not. It's if you're sticking to a similar job, nature of job, and you're just shifting from one company to the next, it is not really what I call a career shift. That is just basically progressing and going up the ladder. But when it comes to career shifts, it's like you are rebranding yourself, changing the course, and like say for example, for me, I started off in the corporate world, right, in accounting. So I was in internal audit specifically, and then I decided to go into academia and worked in there for a bit in consultancy. And over there, I was pretty much a very unconventional academic, so to speak. Lah. And then deciding to get out of academia because it has given me enough experiences and know-how. And most importantly, I could see where the gaps are. And that was the main catalyst why I left academia to go out back to the industry, because I wanted to connect the dots. And so to me, that shift is what is really considered a career shift, because it gives you when you actually do career shifts, it gives you greater capacity and a sense of satisfaction. It gives you bandwidth for growth, but it's not for everyone. It's not necessarily the way to go for everyone. And with growth, with learning new things, I am a firm believer that there's no end game to that. There's no end game to
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you mentioned growth, right? Besides growth, why do people want to shift careers? What triggered you for the
Yeah. I
first
mean,
time to actually shift your career?
With
Besides
this
growth.
question, when you
I
talk
say,
about
is the
growth,
grass actually greener on the other side?
it's always like that. The music
Uh-huh.
always
Yeah.
sounds better from a distance, and the grass is always greener on the other side. But you never know how true that is unless you explore it, correct? Right?
Correct.
When you ask me that question about shifting careers and why do people want to do it, um, I just see somebody's face in front of my in front of my eyes. It's Simon Sinek. Um, if you like to read about changing in your careers and being true to your purpose, you have to read his books. And the book on infinite games. It's like his analogy was just so perfect, and that is the reason why I shift my careers, lah, basically. When you're in a game and you see the end game, you know what your target is. And then if the target keeps on shifting, you have to keep active and know how to pivot your game because the rules keep on changing. And that's the reality of things, especially today. Especially today, right? With
Yeah.
with the pandemic happening and the transformation happening so crazily fast, and there's no fixed rules anymore with how things are done with employment market, with a business. The rules are also changeable, right? And there's no
Correct.
winners or losers. You just have to keep moving. And that's the analogy of it. So to me, once I feel that I'm stagnating and I'm reducing in speed and I'm not learning much, or I am unable to contribute the way I want to, and that's the time that, I move. I move and shift. But usually the traction, I'll gravitate towards areas where I feel that there is a need for some kind of contribution where I could just plug a little gap for that matter and I go. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like it's like me when I first started, right? Every 3 years, I used to either automatically get another job or I would change. But
Yeah.
then it would be a job change, but the career is still the same. The pathway is still the same. It's like I'm still doing the same thing, but it's just with a different company, but at a high level, a
Yeah.
different position, etc. But what are things that stop or prevent people from actually shifting careers? What are they afraid of? Is there some sort of a stigma on shifting careers? Like my dad has always done the same job. My late father, in the medical line, all the way throughout. So when I tell him, Dad, I'm moving to this company doing this, he's like, why are you jumping from one job to another? Like I paid you to be a lawyer and you didn't become a lawyer. You're not even practicing. You are jumping here and there. But you know, career wise, it's like doing one, like you said, doing something. I mean, studying for something or starting off something, but then ending up doing something else. So, what prevents people, or what are they afraid of? Is there a stigma that may be
I
attached
think,
to it?
yeah, I think for one is like knowing what you want. That is the main thing that anyone has to do. Discovering yourself. Discovering myself also took me quite some time, and then it is not until I realized how I could actually connect with others better than a lot of other people, and I had a knack of explaining things and making people understand, in through communication, through I would say embracing the engaging culture, you know what I mean. That's when I decided to go into teaching, academia, where it's more nurturing and I deal a lot with people. But again, as I said, it is not something for everyone. It's how you see yourself and whether you want to, you see it as the big picture. Some people are very, I would say, focused, and they are experts in a very niche area, and it might not be for them. When I come back to your question, you were saying, what is it that stops people, right, from shifting their careers? I
What
think
is the fear?
it's also the being fearful of uncertainty and the unknown. When people get in jobs,
Yeah.
it's not just a job. It's life. It's getting to know new people, getting comfortable with work, colleagues, the culture of the organization, the location, a routine. And that I feel from what I've seen, from what I've seen from the people who are closest to me, to even friends and acquaintances, that is the biggest hurdle, because people get into a comfort zone that they do not know whether they could actually, start all over. Getting to learn something new might be also in the way. That can be the first preventer. And another big problem is, being able to go out and ask for help. And the biggest, I would say, factor in the way is ego. Okay, so to get just raising your hand and saying something in a meeting, or just going up to a colleague or your boss or even a subordinate and asking about how things are done. Ego always gets in the way, and that's something which I have actually learned how to overcome. It's okay to say I don't know, but I want to learn. And what is wrong with saying that? You don't have to show like you know everything, just because you are at a certain level in your position, because that is the biggest preventer in you trying to improve yourself and learn. And the other factor, I would say two more factors which actually prevents people from shifting their careers, is they are afraid of being branded as job hoppers. Okay, and that's the point that James
Mhm.
spoke about just now, right? Subjective norms in our society, especially, is very high. We're very conscious about what people think of us, what people feel, and how the perceptions are of us. At the end of the day, you have to put yourself first.
Yeah.
I've seen many people who, like, especially during our generation, right, Sherin, People do degrees just because everybody else is doing it, or your parents ask you to do it. Do a degree in accounting, or do law, or read law, or go into medicine, and you realize at the end of the day that's not something which you want to do. I can speak for my own sister. She did a degree in computer science only because that's what my dad got her to do. But I have to say that she was not really happy. She completed it. She took the piece of paper after her graduation and gave it to my dad. Here, that's for you. And
Oh my God, I love your sister. This is exactly what I did
yeah,
with my dad. That's like, you paid for the law degree, right? Now, this is the degree that you paid for. I went through it. Here you go. I'm
what
going
what
out.
is she doing right now? You want to know? She
What?
is actually, well, she owns a Montessori, and she did early childhood education after that. And she also runs her own Airbnb business in Gold Coast, Australia. So I've got family in Australia as well. There you go. So what I'm trying to say here, right, is like, don't let the degree that you did 30 years ago define you, 20 years ago define you, 10 years ago define you. You define yourself. What you learned and how you trained at tertiary level, whether you did a tertiary degree or not, that is the precious key you have to continue learning. That affords you the ability to learn, and you should continue this tradition. And the last point that I feel gets in the way of career shifting is indecisiveness. Oh my God, that is something which I do not have patience for. But I can tell you lah, you know what people say, if you're not a baker, it's because you're impatient. And that's me. That's so me. I can never bake because I do not have the patience. But I also do not have the patience with a lot of things. So if you call spontaneity and candidness as a factor or a criteria of success, I have that. I have that. So indecisiveness is something which really gets in the way because people sit on things a lot, sometimes overthink too much, and before they even make any moves, all looks perfect. Planning, discussing, frameworks, blueprints, and all that. But when it comes to execution, nothing gets done. Just do it. Don't
The,
be
ot-
perfect.
the otak
Okay.
cicak starts talking to you.
Yeah,
The-
like
the-
what if
You want,
what if
you
this?
want the
What
best,
if that?
and you want
Ah.
the simplest cake, or the world's best orange cake. I will send it personally to you, created by me.
He's very
Okay.
patient in
Because
baking.
essentially, I
I
wanted
I
to
love
go
cake.
into food. I wanted to be a chef, but my dad said, "What? You're gonna cook for people? Like, for what? Be a lawyer." But I didn't let that go by. I still improve myself, and you can ask Sherin. She's still haunting me for her red velvet cake today.
And
Okay.
salmon lunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really like red velvet, but I'll go for the orange cake.
The
Orange cake,
world's
anything
best.
lemony.
Yeah, it's
So shall we
really
go for
good.
the
His
next
baking
question,
is
or
really, really good. And he's good for me.
before we get shouting from the back room?
Yeah, we're gonna get it anyway. Pat actually said something very correct. Remember, I said in our lifetime that
Yeah.
we will go through about 12 jobs. He said in the next couple of years it will be just 7 entirely different careers, and I agree with that because people
Oh.
now, the younger generation, they tend to, okay, I'm bored in doing this. Let me just switch. They are risk takers, isn't it? They do take risks
Yep.
and they do take risks. Yeah, a little bit less of the
Absolutely.
otak cicak talking there.
Yeah.
And I think they're looking at the world as very borderless. So one thing is about what to change a career in. The other one will be where to change their career to. Where do
Yeah.
you want to work? Which part of the world you just want to travel and work?
That
Yeah.
brings us smoothly into the next question.
But I
Okay.
got
What
questions
are
from the
things?
audience first.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Let's ask the audience a question because they've been rather quiet after a bit of
You
hoo-ha
know,
there.
it's like they're all listening to what Dr. Amin has to say.
They're so intrigued that they're like, ooh. Okay, guys, have any of you made a career shift before in your life? And if you did, let us know shift From what? Where were you? And where are you now? Let us know. It'll be nice to interesting to hear.
And what prompted you to shift? That would be a great thing to get from the audience, right? What made you shift? You know, what caused that shift, or what prompted you? What motivated you? That brings us to the next question.
Mhm.
What are the things to consider before shifting careers? Are there, magic potions or magic spell that you need before you shift a career or take that leap of faith, as people say?
Okay. I actually have a few points here, but maybe I could just mention them first. Before making a shift, I think you would have to have these 5 points clear in your mind: purpose, passion, capacity, opportunity, and support. So with purpose, I go back to Simon Sinek, and it's always about going back to your true north and knowing what is the purpose you have in life. A lot of people confuse having a purpose and tying their purpose in life as a person to your careers, to your job. Careers is okay, but to your job. So the moment if it happens, you lose your job or something not so good happens, you kind of like feel that you're so lost because you lose your sense of purpose. So that's one. Second one is passion. I've learned it along the way, that you need to be very passionate about what you do. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it will just be a job and you won't enjoy it. You won't have the same sense of satisfaction and content. And that is something that I discovered throughout, especially once I went into academia, because that afforded me the opportunity to help empower others. Because it's like it's so fulfilling to see and watch people walk through the convocation and receive their scrolls. I just can't describe it. The feeling of content when you see the faces of their grandmas and grandpas lining the day one chancellor, and it's like just, I don't know, like it's very overwhelming to me. And so basically that passion that I had was about empowering others to find their true self, to bring out the best in themselves. So that's another factor that you would need. The third one would be capacity. I mean, you can dream all you want. I have loads and loads of dreams, having my own little Airbnb, or also like my sister, or, going to F&B, having a cafe because I love coffee. And I think it's also being realistic about it. So knowing what your capacity is and also understanding what drives you and what stops you from doing things. And so if you do not have it, like for example, the risk appetite, everybody has a different risk appetite, right? If you are very risk averse and getting into business, for example, would really just kill you, would just put you under so much stress, you develop all sorts of health disorders, that is not something for you. You need to know what your capacity is. Of course, to actually explore a lot of different technical areas, you need the technical competencies as well. But there's the soft side of it as well, which is not so soft after all, right? So being emotionally intelligent, and having leadership skills, being critical thinker, having the big picture mindset. It's all about having that growth mindset, as opposed to fixed mindset. And yeah, there's a lot of things. So you have to be able to be conscious and know what is your capacity. The fourth point, before you can actually shift your career, is to understand opportunity. That is, I would say, the biggest problem that a lot of sectors of the economy has: the talent matching. You see, knowing
Yeah.
how much supply and how much demand and matching the two. The equation has to somehow come closer together. It would be too idealistic to say it's perfect, right? So the amount of talent that we churn out through tertiary education, through GVAT, through upscaling programs, and your training programs, for example, you have to know what the market needs. And that's where opportunity lies. You see? And people say if there's no opportunity, create it. Yes, create it, but you have to know what it takes as well. So that's the fourth point. And the final point, which is the most important point, which ties in a lot of other aspects as well, mental health, especially stability, sustainability, and support. You need to have the support. You can never do it
Yeah.
alone. You have to have the support of the people around you, family, of course, friends, an ecosystem which celebrates what
Yes.
you want to get into. And
Yeah.
you need to be able to identify where the support is. Of course, financial is everything, but people say money isn't everything, right? Yeah.
Mm, no.
Yeah,
So those are the
that's the word. That's the word now. It's the personal ecology, right? Your own personal ecosystem.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's going on all over?
Yeah. And Rebecca, well done. She said she changed her career from a normal admin clerk to a human resource personnel, which she found is quite a big
I
jump.
think, yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah. I
and a
hope you
massive
enjoy
responsibility as well. HR,
Yeah.
as we know, that's huge responsibility when you
Yeah.
talk about HR. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she's having a good time because from what she wrote, sounds like she's quite happy doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Congratulations, Rebecca.
yeah, good
You need
job.
to actually give yourselves a pat on the back, whether it was a big shift, a small shift, just, I would say avoid listening to people who are out there to criticize. Surround yourself with people who have good constructive criticism if you must. Otherwise, you have to be able to celebrate a very positive environment. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's true. So, talking about opportunity, which was the fourth factor just now, right?
Yep.
Um, is there, when we talk about opportunity, is there a good career to shift into at this current situation or circumstance? Or is there in your perception, is there any really
Mm,
good career to shift into right now?
mm,
Mm.
okay. It's like the magic pill, right?
Yeah.
That's a really loaded question there. I would say anything that spells out growth, innovation, and tech, digital, of course, is good. You see, many companies are already rethinking traditional models or already done that, right? And they're continuously doing it. Keep on the lookout for those. And even if you do not want to go for employment, even if you want to explore business, for example, embrace the startup culture. Gig work, gig work, sorry. Opportunities, they have grown, right? And they're continuously growing. Freelance opportunities, have hustles, side hustles, dream big.
Yeah.
Explore the possibilities of starting up. It doesn't cost as much as it costed before. Barriers to new entrants are very low in specific areas. There's not much of a capital outlay there. And just be very I would say very alert and aware of the changes around you, and get into the areas where there's growth. If you are the kind of person who celebrates that kind of employment or jobs. However, as I said, it is not for everyone. So some people prefer stability. You have to answer those questions yourself. So if you're out for stability and kind of like more routine and stable growth kind of thing, then you have to be able to identify the kind of organizations which has that in place, lah. Basically, the BCP in place, right? Um, social enterprises has started to grow even before COVID happened.
Yeah.
And now, even more than ever, is a lot of companies embracing the ESGs, embracing the UNSDGs. And you can see how people are able to run businesses, to start up businesses where they have a marriage of the two. They have their noble intention, the social intent, and they marry it across, profit, for profit. So
Like
that's
what you said.
another.
I mean, that all ties in with this. I think one of the most important of the five factors that you spoke about. It's a passion. Where is your heart? If that passion is not there, then everything else will not fall into place, right? So we have a few more questions to ask before. We have a lot more questions, but then we are running out of time. But I would just like to ask our audience, are you thinking of having a career shift anytime soon? What are the factors that's influencing your plans? So if you are actually right about now thinking about, oh, I've done this for so many years, I want for the next half of my life, I'm going to do something else. This is where my passion is, etc. What is that factor that is influencing your plans? Like what Dr. Amina said, have you come to a point where you are stagnant, that you don't see a growth anymore? Or do you find yourself looking into somewhere where nobody else, you've struck an idea and you go, wow, no one else is doing this at the moment. Why not I do it? Right? So you found a niche where your own capability, your passion, and all that comes in, and you're going to go into that as a career. So tell us if you're going to change your career. Yeah. And one final question, Dr. Amina. I promise,
Yep.
I promise, I promise. What do you think about career shifts, especially now? Especially now. Yes or no? Yay or nay?
Yay or nay?
Uh, it's a yay. for me, for me, it's a yay. There's no better time than now. If you do want to shift, you have that feeling that you're not stable, not happy. You know, there's nobody who should stop you. Learn
Yeah.
how to match what you like. Your passion and all those points I mentioned about earlier, and
Yes.
opportunity. You have to match it. Match your passion and opportunity. And now is a better time. I mean, the best time to rewrite your stars. Like the song, right? In that movie, it's like rewriting your stars.
While we rewrite the
There you go.
stars. Okay.
I love the song.
And you know what exactly that I am doing? Sherin knows that much.
Yeah. He's into
So
some undercover
we've
world
got
right now.
Fabrian AA. His two A's, not just
I
one.
wonder
Two
where
A's.
is he from? Where are you from, Fabrian?
He says, I think I'm also shifting my career. I graduated from English department, but now I'm running in a information security manager. I can't believe it until now. It will be excellent if you give me more motivation, because I usually feel down when um, meeting meeting other information security managers who come from IT management background. Okay.
That's a big shift.
Yeah,
That's a
you can
very
start
big
by
shift.
writing a manual which is written in proper English for once, so that
Oh,
those IT guys will know.
Yeah.
that's a great
Vivian
shift.
says adapt is important. Yeah, adaptability. I totally agree.
Reinvent
Yes.
oneself and adapt.
Yeah.
That's really good. So
Yeah.
we've come to the
And
end of
pay
the
forward.
show.
Yep.
We've got like 3 more minutes to the end. So we'd like to thank you so much today
You're
for
most
being here.
welcome, Sharon.
You shared so much of information, and I'm sure our audience, and definitely James and I, really benefited a lot from this serious
Yes.
discussion today.
Especially
Thank
I
you for
am
having me.
now in between shifting careers.
Yeah,
Me.
he's so excited with his plans.
We're
Before
so coming
we
soon,
end,
coming soon.
before we end today, Dr. Amina, would you like to share with our audience your social media links and how they can reach you in case they have any more
Okay.
questions? People like Fabrian might want to get in
Yep.
touch with you.
Yeah.
Yep,
Everybody
sure.
will do their shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe
it's
our
it's on the LinkedIn. Yeah, there you are. It's down there. Yeah.
it's on the
Dr.
clicker,
Amina.
guys. So if you need to get in touch with
Yeah.
Dr. Amina, it's Dr. Amina Joseta on LinkedIn. So you can get in touch with her.
Our next episode of HR Intervention will be in 2 weeks from now, which is the 3rd of November. Can you imagine it's coming to the end of 2021? You know, it's going to be on the same day and same time with another amazing guest. And we'll have, a really special guest, as I said, in that episode. I mean, every episode we've got we've never had a guest who've had a blank, like, okay, what's the next question? It's like we have no time. You know, the guests are superb. Do register in the link in the comment section to register now so that you'll get a reminder. Don't forget to connect with us on all our social media platforms. We'll put up the links in the comment section as well, Sherin's, mine, as well as our guest speakers. So if you have any questions that you want to ask them off camera, you can go ahead.
Yeah, and if you're looking more to promote health awareness to your employees or your team members, enhance their team engagement maybe, or even any kind of training related issues, inquiries, just drop us an email at training@compassmind.com. So till next time, stay at home, although you can go everywhere and anywhere. Stay safe, even if you go everywhere and anywhere. Have a joyful and productive lockdown. Is it a lockdown? It's no longer a lockdown.
No, we don't have any more lockdown.
We're in phase 4. So, but remember, guys, as much as we are allowed to go everywhere, but
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Very important. We'll see you guys on the next episode of HR Intervention.
Serious discussions only.
Bye.